Welcome and thank you for tuning in to PFB Podcast. We are your hosts, Gabriel Cuesta
and Evan Sada, and we'll be telling y'all the story about the Dialogue Pass incident. And basically, the backstory of the pass is a group of 10 students were going on a hiking expedition to get their level 3 mountain climbing license. They were in the Kulat Slopes. The Kulat Slopes were later renamed after the lead hiker of the group. His name was Igor Dyatlov. And they started off with 10 members of the hike, and one of the members actually left because he was experiencing joint pains in his knee and ankles. And they were left with 9. So the group of 9 then began to set up a campsite on the slope. And that night, something caused them to tear their way out of their tent. And so this is what we know is true about the incident. So basically, something startled and forced them to leave the campground a considerable distance with a little clothing on and none or incomplete footwear. Tent was cut from the inside. The tent was meant to hold around 10 original hikers, but investigators' pictures show that the tent would have struggled to hold half that. There were also branches broken up to 18 feet up in a tree. The hikers split into 3 main groups. One group seemed to freeze to death trying to make it back to the campsite. Each of the members in this group died at different times. That's why their bodies were spread out. Another built a fire, but due to the extreme temperature, the fire was not enough to keep them from freezing to death. The last group ran through the forest in the pitch black dark and were found at the bottom of a ravine with several impact damaging, including fractured skull, caved-in chest, and one with no eyes, tongue, or lip.
Well, after the public release of the investigation reports by the Russian government, there was obvious conspiracy theories created because of the lack of evidence and the amount of suspicious details that were part of the report that didn't really lead to a clear and concise conclusion. So I'm going to start naming off a few of the more popular theories. I'm going to start debunking them as they go, and I'm going to end with one of the more believable of the group. So the first one that most people believe, it was an avalanche. It is clearly not an avalanche. Although this picture does show that there is snow on top of the tent. That snow was built up from the beginning or right after their death or right after they camped, and the 3 months until the tent was found. So that's enough time for snow to build up there. Also, there's footprints clearly visible around the tent. There's no way that those footprints will still be there if there's an avalanche. There's no way. Also, as you can see, is not steep enough. It doesn't lend itself for avalanches. There's no place for that snow to go if it decides to go down. All right, the next one that's somewhat known is they thought them being college students, they had a party and it went wrong. College students, how they love to drink and mess around, do drugs and alcohol, usually ends up in foolish and dangerous behavior, right? Well, these were known to be outstanding students of good character, and not only that, but the trip only had alcohol on the trip for medical purposes. Even that alcohol, which was menthol, the flask that was holding it was completely full and unopened. Next one that most people believe is plausible is infrasound winds that can cause insanity and panic attacks in humans. This is very easily debunked. The mountain ranges around the Dyatlov Pass doesn't lend itself for the winds to carry that sound very easily to where the tent was set up. The tent was basically surrounded by kind of a ring of mountains that wouldn't allow the wind to carry those sounds over or through the mountains. So that was easily taken right off. Another one that most people think is true. It was an attack of the Mansi tribe, a local tribe in that area near Dyatlov Pass. First of all, you need to know that this is completely impossible because one, the Mansi tribe are not known for being hostile. They're a peaceful tribe. Also, the Mansi tribe although it is part of the Mansi territory, the Mansi tribe no longer ventures into the what's now called Dyatlov Pass because previously named by the Mansi as Dead Mountain, it is very well known for having no wildlife in that area. All right. Also, the fact that there's no animals. There's no animal footprints found anywhere. No animal tracings, nothing, droppings, nothing. Also, there were no animal-caused injuries on the bodies found. The final, and the most believable of conspiracies that doesn't really correctly answer what happened, is that the Russian government is withholding key information that leads to the complete understanding of this incident. First of all, it may not be so related as they're covering up, but it is kind of strange and suspicious that when the body of said Igor Dyatlov, as seen here, it clearly shows that he's in a position that normally would make sense if you're facing down trying to cover yourself from something. Not only that, but a pit of similar size was found 100 meters to the south of where this body was found. But not only that, but this location where he was found at had considerably less snow melted by the body heat than comparable to that of the other people that were found. The snow around them was more melted. There's more snow melted from their body heat. Now, the next list of things that were found inside of the report was that it stated that there was radiation on the clothes left behind at the campsite. Like, what is? How does it?
I thought that was interesting as well, and I was wondering why the government came up there with radiation equipment when they were just supposed to be up there examining the bodies. And I was wondering why they brought radiation equipment instead of like stretchers to carry him down. I thought that was very interesting.
Right. They checked for radiation. That is very, very suspicious. You're not supposed to be taking radiation equipment when you're investigating the tragic deaths of young hitchhikers, students. Another thing was that the investigation was known for being closely monitored by the Soviets. The people who did not have to be a part of the investigation were not allowed to be a part of it. It was very exclusive. Also, during the investigation, the authorities seemed very interested in this particular incident, and the case wrapped up very quickly. And once it was completed, the records were stowed away until late 2000s or into the 21st century. And not only that, but Dyatlov Pass was closed off for 3 years. It is also, the Russian government also did not allow the use of like those search dogs that you use that could sniff out the scent of a person so you could find them. That is very suspicious. It's almost as if they expected there to be some sort of danger that could do harm to the very expensive, well-trained dogs. In the end of the story, it is very obvious that the Russians are withholding something that is a missing link in this chain that solves this question. What happened to these hikers? And who caused it? Well, we'd like to thank you for tuning into PFP Podcast. Sita, any final thoughts?
No, man, I think that's it.
Yeah, This is the ending of a very strange occurrence and a very sad incident that happened to a group of young hikers. Once again, thank you for listening to PFB Podcast. We'll see you soon.